42,510 Palestinians have been killed since beginning of Gaza war. 76,214 people have been injured. Out of 563 schools, as per UN report, 53 totally destroyed, around 165 majorly, and almost all in some way or other. All 12 universities were damaged and destroyed. Healthcare badly hit. Out of 36 hospitals, 24 have been totally destroyed and others in some way or other. Evil Zionists repeatedly targeted healthcare facilities, ambulances, and access roads. They have arrested healthcare workers, blockaded fuel needed for generators, and withheld critical medical and surgical supplies, all of which were intended to undermine Gaza's healthcare system. The world remained silent when more than 500 patients, including those in ICU, children, healthcare personnel, including world-experienced doctors and surgeons, were massacred in broad daylight. Please note they kept sending SOS messages for last 3 days of siege by Israeli terrorist army. The so-called civilized world did nothing. Now, this heinous, atrocious crime was not enough for the evil Zionists. After destroying infra, education, healthcare, last came the food for people displaced from their home. These Zionists had plans for that also. They first defamed UNRWA, UN Relief and Works Agency, then propaganda against it through its news network, which made US, Europe, and even Australia withdraw the grant for some time. Then came the most heinous and atrocious crime, killing and drone attack in broad daylight. 6. International aid workers of World Kitchen Organization, traveling in white cars painted boldly indicating the name of their organization, were fired upon 3 times. One first car, those who ran and came in second car, second time hitting the second car, and then final hit on third vehicle, killing everyone. Worst of all was the shameless appearance of Netanyahu, the Zionist head of state, accepting the crime on TV and saying that mistakes happen in war. So what do you think? Was it just a mistake? Definitely not. It was all as per plan, with the end result of starving people to death and giving a clear message to punish all who come forward for help and to discourage any other organization in future. Now, what the world can learn from Palestinians is that their homes, health, and food facilities have been destroyed. Their people have been killed, but they are not losing hope. They have very strong faith in Almighty Allah. Still, the spirit of resistance to defend their motherland is held up in the sky. Many in Western world got inspired from their Iman, faith and persistence, and have accepted Islam as their faith recently. They just can't believe how a human can withstand so much pain after losing 40,000 of their people, of which 15,000 were kids, and still stand firm with smiles and peace on their face. Also, it's a high time for the community to learn something from what's going on around in the world. To understand the whole thing, you need to look on the evil plans going around and its intentions against Muslims. This all happened in 2024, the 21st century. With the United Nations in place, with International Court of Justice, European Commission, and many others in place, entire population was punished for the sake of the event on 7th October 2023. Now the question is, was it really happened on October 7th? Why this evil Zionist state of Israel mocks all international laws and is going unpunished? The answer is funding elections and lobbying the world, especially United States, in the form of donations to senators contending it. They have corrupted and placed their persons on all key decision-making places. These people create environment and justify all their evil actions. Media, obviously, which is either owned by them or funded, helps in propagating the madness and lies. For consistent and detailed understanding, you have to rewind it to 1948, when Israel popped up on Palestinian land. Israel was not a state before 1948. On May 14, 1948, David Ben-Gurion, the head of the Jewish Agency, proclaimed the establishment of the State of Israel, along with many key events that pre and post followed it, orchestrated effort around the world in the name of Holocaust and anti-Semitism. In fact, till the inception of Gaza war, which gone wrong and exposed all their lies and wicked state of affairs. They have been quite successful in injecting narratives in people's mind that they are innocent survivors of Nazi war. Just don't say anything to them, just pity on them, and let them do what they are doing, so on and so forth. It's like Holocaust was used for past references, and anti-Semitism was used to correct you for any words spoken against Zionism and its evil state of Israel and its people. To some of you who do not understand what anti-Semitism is, anti-Semitism actually means prejudice against or hatred of Jews. A small homework to all those watching this video. Just make a total of Muslim population killed in Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria, and now in Gaza. Together, it will surpass the Holocaust. Please note, all wars above were forced wars, some in name of weapons of mass destruction, which the one who did it in fact sold and supplied, and carrying those weapons more than any other country in the world. Now what it did is, it disturbed the entire region, pushed them 3 to 4 decades back. Their countries were looted, homes bombed, and loved ones killed, and finally abandoned to live in misery. There are many other dimensions of the Gaza war, like political, historical, religious, strategic, and many others. For example, let's start with political. Netanyahu government is vulnerable and short of majority. So when a dictator and evil statesman like him gets on the position of head of state post, he manipulates the dynamics with war, nationalism, instigating fear and insecurity in majority, demeaning minority with majority, supremacy, and many time-tested tools to defer elections and stay in power. Stealing and annexation of Palestinian land is ultimate objective. Master plans for Seaview Township for Israelis in Gaza has already been floated in the market. Bidding started and many Jews have expressed their desire on social media to buy the same and migrate from Europe and United States and other parts of the world. Now you see the thief here is powerful and has 2 big brothers in pocket, United States and UK, and has bribed the entire system. Now it makes narratives as it likes, has made Palestinian rebel fighters terrorists, kills children, starves them to death, bombs medical facilities, it does whatever it likes, and blames it all on the people oppressed, and in fact it shamelessly blames entire Arab world and Muslim world, and tags them as terrorists, all in the name of defending themselves. Shamelessly, and with no spine, the world stands united with this children killer. One aggressor has taken away their homes, occupied their motherland, and have pushed them like prisoners in their own land. They have to take permission for movements, to work, to live, for almost everything. There are certain powerful lobbies in the world that control policy-making of the U.S. One of them is AIPAC. The American Israel Public Affairs Committee is a lobbying group that advocates pro-Israel policies to the legislative and executive branches of the United States. This year, Joe Biden has received more than $11 million from AIPAC, highest among all. Imagine how much the president has to repay in kind, manifold, obviously. That's the beauty also, say if all senators together are funded with $100K, Israel takes back manifold, maybe 100 times of that back in the form of aid, military backup, and supplies and escapes United Nations, International Court of Justice, and world authorities in place for peace and order. Now came historical and religious dimension. It starts from history of Old Temple. The holy shrine of Jews is called Old Temple, which was built and destroyed 2 times in history, but they are trying to build it again. As per Torah, they believe that when they will find the Tabut Esakina and build Hekal Suleimani, the temple for the 3rd time, they will be glorified and the way of their prophecy will get unlocked. Building the 3rd temple requires demolition of Masjid al-Aqsa, 3rd holy shrine of Muslims. And the second biggest aim of this war is the formation of Greater Israel. That includes some parts of Saudi Arabia, Jordan, Syria as well. There are references from Holy Quran as well. Non-believers, mushrikeen, will be reaching up till the part of Makkah before the end of times, but they will not be able to enter Makkah. Why Muslims are in the center of the target? There is a saying, first they will shot you or will make you shoot, and then they will blame you for shooting. Entire Muslim world, Middle East, is around the border of Israel, and since they control America, who is the superpower of the world, By creating narratives of negative image of Islam, they can create fear in the rest of the world against Islam, and Israel will be able to go on with creating policies against them. In justifying fake wars, in justifying massacres against Palestinians. 2. Muslims are vulnerable as they use hired technologies, not acquired technologies. They do not train, educate their peoples to develop their own things. They do not strive hard for excellence, innovation on community level. Now, what needs to be done? First, internally. Any individual may be of any religion. Knowingly or unknowingly is representation of its upbringing, culture that has some traces of religion as well. But if that he or she is in religious attire, then 100% it will be tantamount to be representation of his culture or religion that gradually brands the entire thing. You are branding your religion. Every time, when people of any other religion meet you, they judge your religion by your character, dealings, fairness, etiquettes and manners, kindness and generosity, transparency and acceptance, hospitality, etc. So, display your character in a better way to improve the perception of the world about you. You should be going back to the teachings of Prophet, peace be upon him. Demonstrate his principles by following it. Most basic demonstration. 1. Keep our surroundings clean. Whatever it takes, you should be doing it. 2. Kindness in actions, politeness in behavior, generosity in helping others, patience in dealing with neighbors, social service volunteering, standing firm with oppressed, no matter what it takes and no matter how powerful his oppressor, so on and so forth. 3. Avoid interest in financial dealings, both in receiving and giving. Do business without interest. It will be a blessing and barak to you. You will never be short of funds. 4. Be honest and hardworking when in job. Be fair and just when in business. 5. Don't be hesitant in migrating or exploring new places in business and encourage business and entrepreneurship. Always remember, your skull cap, beard are sacred. Never abuse, fight, break signal on roads, or speak rudely with your pious headgears on wearing them. You have responsibility when you wear them. It's not just you, but representation of entire community. People make opinion where you belong to. We should also work on some internal factors, such as 1. Strive hard in making your life better, your family's life better, your community's life better, your country's life better. Try to be an asset to your people. 2. You should be thinking 24/7 that what is your contribution to science and research, in advancement of medicine, or what is your contribution for your people? Are you just a loaf of meat who is just growing up and following a daily routine, or is making some contributions back to your people and society and to your country? 3. We should be introspecting ourselves about why we are sidelined. How is our relationship with others, with our neighbors? Have we ever helped them, or at least are we on good terms with them? 4. Encourage the young blood to understand politics, and it's not a taboo. If good people will come in, its environment will get better. Volunteer yourself for pre-elections, in camps for election card, name correction, and ensure people are coming out to cast their vote. Strive and work on politics so that no policies are created against you. 5. Stop using Muslim names in your social work or anything you are doing that has a social angle to it. Be smart. Your Prophet, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was for all. You should also stand for all. Name your work organization according to its welfare values. For example, service to humanity is a far more appealing name than service to Muslim. 7. It should be noted that girls and women of our ummah, almost 50% of population, remain to be utilized as human resources in shaping the future. Imagine an educated, learned, powerful woman who is capable of standing on her own, qualified enough to be employable, is an asset. She can take care of her family and stand like a rock against any adversary that comes in her life. In Middle East, Afghanistan, and other war-affected regions of the world, where male population is killed in huge numbers, and similarly, in the regions where right-wing governments are oppressing minorities, this becomes even more important as women are more vulnerable, cheated, harassed, and exploited. So, if you ask any person of reasonable intellect, what will he prefer to educate and make powerful young Muslim girls, or just keep this powerful half of population vulnerable and exposed to adversaries? Remember, educating a woman with high morals, educating the entire family makes the future of the entire race bright enough that will be carried forward with family and with her kids. So change your mindset now before it gets too late. Make her independent, learned, and respectable so that she can take care of herself with you or without you. It's your moral duty and responsibility. The sooner you understand, the better it is for world peace and to expose evil intentions of Zionist, capitalist, psychopaths, dictators, and all those evil Islamophobic people and organizations around the world.